You know that feeling when everything seems to be falling apart, and then suddenly something just clicks? Well, that's exactly what's happening with the Baltimore Ravens. After weeks of worry, losses, and doubt, the defense has finally woken up, and what we've seen in the last few games is seriously exciting. But the good news doesn't stop there. The team is starting to find its identity again. The schedule is opening up for a possible surge, and key players are getting back to star-level form. Something big is building in Baltimore. And if this momentum keeps up, the Ravens season could flip completely faster than anyone expected. For a long time, it felt like the Ravens defense had forgotten who they were. The team started the season taking hit after hit, giving up over 400 yards and 35 points per game, and nobody could figure out what was happening. They were missing energy, missing communication, and, most importantly, missing that pride that has always defined Baltimore's defense. But in the last 2 weeks, everything seems to have changed, and drastically. Suddenly, the group is playing with intensity again. Hits are solid, coverage is disciplined, and the confidence that had disappeared has returned. Only 33 points allowed in the last 2 games, a massive difference for a unit that had been dominated almost every game. The 30-16 win over the Bears wasn't just another W. It sent a clear message. This defense is alive and is ready to carry the team again. What stood out the most was their control of the line of scrimmage. Against an offense that had been running well, Baltimore allowed just 96 rushing yards. On top of that, the defense forced key mistakes: a sack, 2 intentional grounding penalties, and an interception by Nate Wiggins. It was a complete performance, where every player did their job and the unit worked in perfect sync. More than the stats, it was the attitude that caught attention. The defense stepped on the field with a different mindset, hungry, communicating better, and showing that the season can still turn around. And with this new spirit emerging, the timing couldn't be better. The upcoming schedule could help this defense grow even more. If there's one thing that defines the Ravens' new defensive momentum, it's how they've taken control of the trenches. Against the Bears, the team completely disrupted the game plan, controlling the pace from start to finish. The defensive line was aggressive, fast, and disciplined, leaving no room for the run game to operate. Chicago, which had been running effectively, finished the game with just 96 rushing yards. That kind of control completely changes a game. When the opponent can't run, they become predictable. And that's exactly what happened. The Bears quarterback was under pressure the entire game, with no time to think and no comfort in the pocket. Baltimore recorded a sack, forced 2 grounding penalties, and even caused an interception by Nate Wiggins, all signs that the group is starting to play with confidence and coordination. Every play seemed to have purpose, a different energy, and that's what had been missing since the start of the season. Another key factor was a balance between aggression and control. The defense wasn't just physical, they were smart, knowing when to attack and when to fall back. That mix of constant pressure with discipline is what makes a defense truly dangerous. Baltimore had shown glimpses of this in previous weeks. But against the Bears, the execution was nearly flawless. The best part is that this type of performance creates a domino effect. When the defensive line earns respect and the linebackers control the middle, the rest of the unit loosens up. And with a lighter schedule coming up, this consistency could finally turn into a new defensive identity. After weeks facing tough opponents and carrying the pressure of a 1-5 start, the Ravens finally get a breather. The next 5 games are against teams with losing records, and that could be exactly the reset they needed. It's not just a chance to rack up wins. It's an opportunity to solidify this new phase of the defense, which is starting to find a right balance of intensity and confidence. This easier stretch lets the team keep fine-tuning details without being punished for small mistakes. It's the perfect chance to turn strong performances into a real trend. The game against the Bears showed the team buying into the bend, don't break approach, allow some short gains, but clamp down when it counts. Chicago reached the red zone 3 times, but came away with only 1 touchdown. That's the kind of mindset that separates good defenses from great ones. Another key point is the psychological impact. Each solid performance reinforces collective confidence, especially after turbulent weeks. Players start believing in the system again. Coaches feel confident making calls, and the whole team plays looser. And with Lamar Jackson coming back, the balance between offense and defense can finally show up. If the defense keeps up this level and takes advantage of the schedule, Baltimore could definitely get back into the AFC North race. And in that scenario, one player in particular, the heart of this defense, becomes even more crucial.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
Since Roquan Smith returned, the energy on the defense has completely shifted. He's the kind of player who doesn't just make plays. He sets the tone for the entire team. Against the Bears, he proved exactly why he's considered one of the most dominant linebackers in the NFL. 12 tackles, total control of the middle of the field, and a presence the opponent feels on every snap. His football IQ and quick reaction time transformed the entire defensive structure. Smith is both the brain and the engine of the defense. When he's on the field, everything flows better. Safeties trust their coverage more. Defensive linemen can attack with freedom, and the whole group plays with higher intensity. Communication, which had been a problem early in the season, is back. Plays that previously ended in blown assignments are now clean tackles. His impact goes beyond stats. It's in how the team behaves. On top of that, Smith brings the leadership the locker room needed. He pushes, encourages, and guides, and that attitude reflects on the entire unit. The defense is playing with pride again, something that had been missing since the season started. When he's at his best, it feels like everything else falls into place naturally. This kind of leadership sustains teams chasing comebacks. With Smith healthy and dominant, the Ravens' defense has its identity back. And this solid foundation allows other pieces, veterans and young players alike, to grow around him, while the stars reclaim their roles. Tactical adjustments and the emergence of rookies are giving the defense its finishing touches. Moving Kyle Hamilton closer to the line of scrimmage has been one of the smartest adjustments in recent weeks. With Alohi Gilman locking down the secondary, Hamilton gained freedom to be that unpredictable player who disrupts the offense. He's everywhere, pressuring the quarterback, stopping runs, deflecting passes. That kind of versatility changes the game. At the same time, rookies Mike Green and Ted Buchanan are showing impressive maturity. Buchanan actually leads the team in tackles, rare for a rookie. He plays with instinct and confidence, almost like a veteran. Green notched his first career sack and is carving out his role in the rotation. These contributions show the defense's depth is improving, essential in a long, grueling season. The mix of experience and youth is paying off. Veterans bring stability and communication. Rookies bring energy and boldness. When these forces align, the result is a defense that plays with purpose, something we've seen clearly in recent weeks. After a chaotic start, it looks like the pieces are finally falling into place. And if this progress continues, the Ravens could not only save the season, but turn this defensive turnaround into a foundation for a new playoff push. After so many weeks of doubt, the Baltimore Ravens are finally showing clear signs of hope. The defense has regained its rhythm. The pieces are clicking, and the team's atmosphere feels completely different. This shift in mindset, combined with key players returning in a lighter schedule, could be the turning point everyone was waiting for. Now the question is, can this new defensive phase really sustain a run to playoffs? Everything points to yes, but in the NFL, nothing is guaranteed. What's certain is that the Ravens are back to fighting, and with this spirit, anything can happen in the coming weeks.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself.